Morning, everybody. Thank you, Madhumita, for giving me this opportunity. First of all, I am not from IIT or any of the IITs. I come from a very small institution in Bangalore, but later on went on to do my master's in UK. So I happened to connect through Madhumita through one of my colleagues. So I don't have the typical IIT tag with me, so kindly excuse. I'm sure that's fine. Okay, I come here basically, I speak by my experience something called as AutoTree. All must be wondering, what does this AutoTree got to do here, right? Okay, AutoTree happens to be a very small idea where typically when we all have cars, we all have gone to a showroom and bought cars, haven't we? Right? So as we have bought the cars, we typically go to a showroom. We are able to go experience a very wonderful showroom setup. We have 10 salesmen who are well educated, well aware of the entire car. They explain it to you. They get you to a stage where they convince you and guide you to buy a car. But once you bought a car, you walk out of the showroom. When you buy a car, you go with your family to buy a car. But when you step out of the car, in case if you want to get an embellishment done, okay, you want to accessorize it. You want to get certain fitments done to it. What you do, you have to leave your family back home and go through, even to change a simple tire, you have to go to multiple locations. Whether it has to do with the tire changing, whether it has to do with your seat cover changing, whether to get even a minor change. Okay, there is not a single setup which we have come across India where you are able to go at a single stop location, address all your needs, not the service part, but embellishing part. So after sales market. So we looked at that. The main pain points here we looked at is basically a customer after owning a car having to go to do a minor changes in terms of having a good seat cover done, or a tire a change, or a few minor accessories. Okay, he has to go to multiple locations. And today, unfortunately, we don't have setups across India where the entire family can go after your car purchase experience, continue the same experience in having your car embellished. So this is how we started with AutoTree, and we've seen over a period of, it's been a year now, and God's been kind. So we started with Cochin. Why Cochin is our first outlet? Because having done research, Cochin is the only city in India where on a 10-kilometer stretch, you have 22 car brands, ranging from your Maruti to your Range Rover on a single stretch. Okay, so what better place to be in than Cochin for our test market? So we launched our test market at Cochin 1 year down the line. We'll be surprised to know the statistics. The number of customers we see, we are able to address about 40 to 50 customers on a regular basis. And out of this, 40% are women. We have forgotten to address the women market, where we have more number of women actually buying cars, but they are not able to go and embellish their cars. Okay, so this has given us a lot of growth, a lot of insight, and we were able to have 2 more outlets within the span of 1 year. And we took a challenge of going from typically to a brick and mortar, rather than going for an online, very age of online store. Journey has been fairly tough because we had a lot of convincing to do from the vendor side. With vendor side, typically issues are you need to meet XYZ targets for you to give an XYZ price. But we need to convince them, it took us a lot of time to convince them that, look, this is a more reformed model. Okay? And in our journey, there is something interesting which we did. When a person buys a car, he goes into a showroom to buy a car, he's able to somehow mobilize his initial upfront money to make the down payment. Then it is converted into an EMI, so he's able to buy a car. So by the time he steps out of the showroom, he's finished his money. He doesn't have an upfront money to pay for accessories. So we approached, we realized, so how do we entice a buyer to buy, someone to buy, a customer to buy? So we approached a banker called Bajaj Allianz, and it took us about 7 months to convince them. So we are the first in India to roll out an EMI option for your car accessories. So whatever accessories you buy, we convert that into an EMI option. So typically, you get an interest-free tenure from anywhere between 6 to 12 months to buy your car accessories. Okay, so that was basically an enticer for customer to buy. So after buying, you step out of your showroom, you go for a long drive, you are within the city, anything and everything could happen. You meet up with an accident, you damage your accessories. So what next? You don't get an insurance. So first time in India, you come back to us, we will replace it with insurance. We have tied up with ICICI for insurance. So again, we did this first initiative. So these two initiatives, we believe, can go a long way in ensuring people utilize these opportunities. But unfortunately, we were a new startup, so we couldn't strike a better deal with any of these corporates. So what happened is the EMI option, we promoted it, but they utilized it to their advantage and they started spreading it throughout the market. But we've seen over a period of time, they're coming back to us saying that we require you. Why would an insurance guy or why would an EMI come back to us? Is because we believe in 100% billing. So there was a customer initially issue from the customer point of view to convince a customer to buy from us because we started encouraging 100% billing. Today, it's a highly unorganized sector. So the entire unorganized sector, we were trying to move into an organized setup. So we're trying to encourage customer through one, telling them billing is important because it gives you the sense of security, the sense of genuineness, and also at the end of the day, the warranty and the guarantee issues. Today, there is no player in and around India in this aftermarket services sector who is offering you guarantee and warranty. So that was another process which we did. And fairly, we've had customers who have accepted us well in these 3 cities. We look to grow from there, and Cochin being a small market, but we believe Bangalore and other markets are much bigger. So throughout the journey in past 1 year, there's been a lot of learning. In this learning process, any startups do make typical mistakes. So we did a mistake is, quote unquote, of hiring too many professionals too soon. We hired too many professionals too soon, so we ended up burning our working capital. We ended up burning a lot of working capital. So we realized that, okay, our co-founders and myself realized, please, भेज दो उनको सबको, हम बैठ के काम करते हैं. Ultimately, it is our passion to move it. So in 7 months of startup, we had to fire about 20 professionals. We had built a team of 40 people, but 20 months down the line, okay, we had to let go of 20 professionals. It's an unfortunate thing, but what we realized is the sector we are entering into, okay, it requires a lot of convincing with our vendors. So at some point, these professionals were not able to do it because they definitely had the passion, but it is something fairly new. So they were not able to understand, or rather probably they were trying to communicate with the vendors, but not able to conclude. So we had a head of purchase guy to ensure that he goes and strikes a good deal with all the major vendors. That is right from your tire manufacturers, right from your seat manufacturers, right from your gadget manufacturers, and well, we have around 1,400 products, so we have close to about 100 vendors. So that was a typical mistake what we did. So, but yes, we burnt a lot of capital. Then we realized, let's come back to reality. Okay, sit down, work again. What could be done? So the moment we did that, it was a tough call. So we called each guy, explained them the scenario as to why it could be and why we need to do that. Okay, why we can't afford you anymore. So kind enough from our team, which we had to let them go. They understood our position, and I mean, some wanted a couple of exit options, which we said, okay, as a one-time cost, let us absorb it. So we did that. So somewhere down the line, maybe 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, if we ought to pull them out or we have to request them to come and join them back, we ensured that they are all happy going out. So that is something which we did. But journey has been tough. It wasn't easy though. But this is a field which not many have, I suppose, have really thought about. Okay, an extension of your showroom experience extension of the showroom experience to ensure your experience continues. This is not technology driven, but we are meeting real-time customers. We are in the service sector. We are meeting real-time customers, addressing their real issues with regard to automobiles on a daily basis. We have customers, I mean, we have service customers for a Santro, which is about 8-year-old discontinued model, okay, who it was owned by a 65-year-old gentleman, okay, and he walks in and he had to get something done. And we've also helped solve the situation of Rolls-Royce in a little time. So it's a challenging job. We've had many good trained technicians, no support from the company, whether be it Sony, Pioneer, or any of these major audio brands. We had an issue of getting employees. Okay, when you go to get your tire replaced, where do you go? You go to a outlet and you just have to tell him that you need XYZ tire. You hand over the car to him, he will give you a bill of 20,000-30,000 rupees. You actually don't know what is happening. You're waiting outside. Okay, and hoping that he does everything to you, right? The same way, you're spending 20,000-30,000 rupees without actual awareness what is happening. And tomorrow, if there is an issue with the tire, what do? You again go back to him and he says, "Bhaiya, 4 din baad aao, isme kuch problem hai, hum sort out kar dein." We have returned to the company. But we've changed that model, saying that, yes, you give your car here, please be seated at our outlet. You can see what is happening at the service center and all your issues are sorted out. We have not looked at the service sector as the servicing of the cars or the engine related, because we believe it's already, all the manufacturers have enough capacities to service, to supply and ensure services are done for their cars. And we've had good startups which, or rather good setups which couldn't take off because they were too early in the service sector. I don't want to name a company, but they misfired too soon, because in India, on the service side, on all the OEM manufacturers, they have enough capacities built. So car retailer, for him, the volume of money or the profitability is not from sale of car, but from the service side. Okay? So he or even the manufacturer ensures the car dealer makes enough money from the service side. So the supply of spare parts prioritized to the service guy, to a dealer. So we wouldn't want to enter to a sector which we know at this point in time we would have been in a very catch-22 situation without having supply of spares and getting stuck. So that is not a sector which we have entered into. We are purely looking at aftermarket services, car accessories sector, and this is a sector which also could be lot of Make in India initiative can be done. Today, 80% to 90% of these products are imported from different countries. Very few are indigenously manufactured. India being one of the fastest growing automobile sectors, industry in India. I think there is a lot of scope for in-house or indigenous manufacturing. So we are trying to work on that. And in our journey, what we realized is there is shortage of manpower, huge shortage of manpower. So we were finding it difficult to get a technical resource, a skilled resource to help us with, say, wheel balancing. Okay. Now, at this scenario, nobody found a job. The wheel balancing guy or the dealer, he just picks up somebody from somewhere and just says, okay, I'll train you for 10 days and you start with the job. So what we've done within AutoTree, we have started an initiative called AutoTree Academy, where we are going to in-house train or skilled people, especially from diploma of mechanical to electronics for audio, mechanical engineering students, either engineering students or diploma students for wheel alignment, wheel balancing, and that could be, in turn, make him an entrepreneur as well, because it really doesn't require major investment to set up a small store. But what is required is a skilled manpower to run the store on a regular basis. So this is where at AutoTree Academy we intend to do. And we have tied up with a couple of institutions in and around Cochin, where we're looking to hire or rather extend our training program to students and give them more input as to how this could be and utilize the manpower. In India, I think by far we produce the maximum number of engineers throughout the world, but very few are employable. And that is primarily because how the target of education has been somewhere lost. The motive of education is somewhere lost. So we, in a little way, we are trying to address that issues as well. So this is what, in our learning, I told you, don't hire too many professionals too soon. Believe in yourself, and any startup or any new idea should be initiated with an intention of getting a positive change in the society. If that being your intent, money is definitely there. And India with 1 billion plus population, youngest, like our keynote speaker said, we have the maximum percentage of youngest population. So it is a market to be in. If only we get our acts together, I'm sure we could be on the top, maybe few countries in next couple of years. So thank you. I'm open to questions.
Thanks, Faiz. Are there any questions for Faiz?
I'm open to a lot of questions.
Hello. I don't have a question, but I have a suggestion.
Yes, sir.
Hearing what you've done, why don't you look at becoming the anchor for many others to do what you've done? You see, because it's very difficult to start, but it's sometimes easier to replicate. And you've gone through that path. And this is a very growing sector because transport as such almost occupies, gives about 10% of the jobs across the country. It's a very important sector. And I have direct exposure in this sector. The first joint venture of Suzuki India was mine. So I have quite a hang on this. And then the true value cars of Maruti came out of my suggestion to Khattar a long time back. Again, the same issue is there. The need to recycle cars in an economy which the per capita income is low is very, very high. So a car before it is consigned to dustbin at least recycles 5 times. Absolutely. And the spare consumption and services are what keep the car going. So the issue that what you are touching, of course you will have the problem of the standard argument the companies gave that you are buying non-genuine parts. The important issue is where you source your parts. So just be careful, because car is a moving item, and it also has hazards of life. So whatever you do, it's a very good program you're starting, and I'm surely going to talk to Pradeep. He's not listening to me now. You've done something so wonderful that we can see these kind of things getting replicated across the country. So let's look at this as one of the anchors we can take across many states to address a very important need and also create, help design jobs for people across the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir, adding the point in hazardous and the genuineness of the parts, we are not touching anything to do with the functioning of the car. That is, be it the engine or the mechanical systems. We're only going to change the wheels if you want, the alloys, approved alloys if you want, and henceforth. So we are not doing anything with regard to ensuring that uncertainty. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for this lovely encouragement.
There's one more question.
Thank you.
Yes. Hello? Yeah.
Hello. Hi. So, in our daily lives, especially in the last 10 years, we have seen the technology is playing a very high role. So it was first in photography, now it went to the retail. And the next thing that we are seeing would be in automobile, where the world will be moving to the driverless car. Google and Apple are already started there. And Ford Motors and General Motors, they're already feeling that pressure. So from a accessories market, how do you see the transformation into the digital? Because it will start from digital, right? The audio and video, now it's